I mean, as it was drying. Hey,
Yeah.
you guys. Oh, my phone's on charge. Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Hi, Jennifer.
Yep.
Hey, my loves.
Good morning.
Oh, okay, you guys. If I'm not goofy when I first start
Wow,
this,
it's a newbie move again. What I usually do is watch a video before I come on, mute that, and then you'll be all set for when you do.
I tried and it wouldn't let me do it.
Look at this one pigging out over here.
I'm eating breakfast. I'm sorry.
Good
You're
morning,
fine.
Liz Ann.
Is that bad etiquette? I should.
Nah, you
Yeah.
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep.
Look, Casey did a whatever they call it, where you eat that
Mhm.
somebody watch it, and he had this big old huge thing of Chinese food, and he just sit
Oh,
there. They call it. It starts with the M, mushbangers. I don't know. But he was just eating, talking to people, eating, eating, eating. He got so many hits on that. I said, why does anybody want to watch somebody eat?
Mhm.
And but
they
it's
Okay,
do.
called,
I tell you what. I'll spare y'all.
You're fine, Liz Ann. You're fine.
We're fine.
you guys.
Hello,
I am just
Tracy.
Good morning, Kimmy. Good morning. Good morning,
Morning, everybody.
Jen. How's everybody doing today?
I can't see the chat. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'll let you know.
Jennifer. Oh, Muck. Is it
Mukbang.
Mukbang. Mukbang.
And Jennifer's another one that's been there. Gosh, Jennifer's been with us for a while now.
Yep.
But Kimmy, baby, I love you. You just don't
Mm-hmm.
know. My little spider monkey. My spider
Yep.
monkey.
Well,
You know,
I'm not kidding. When I heard, that's why I asked Kimmy about where that school was the other day because, when I saw that, because sometimes I'm watching YouTube on my phone or on my laptop and I have the TV on CNN or something or Fox News or whatever, just, so I can hear what's going on in the world. And when I heard that school shooting, I was like distraught over the whole
I,
weekend
Mhm.
I
because I
didn't
had no
know.
idea.
Yep.
See, I don't. I really, since you guys, I don't get on TV hardly. It's I really don't. And last night when I couldn't sleep and I had all kind of, like I told you, Tracy, feels. And
Mm-hmm.
you guys, I did go to the hospital and I had so much feelings and anxiety, and I guess that's why. Oh my gosh, I got so sick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anyway, I came across, okay, it's somebody's sister. She Porterhouse rules.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
was on Porch Church yesterday.
She's
Misha's sister.
Misha's sister.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. I'm like, okay, let me see.
Oops, excuse me.
I really don't know. Let me see. So I went to the first. I watched the video of her. She was doing Ipsy bags, and I do Ipsy, so I'm like, let me see what she thinks. And she put on some lipstick. I don't do lipstick, but it looked good on her, so I did leave a message, and that was back in December. So then I
Mm-hmm.
watched the most recent one of her, and I'm like, okay, okay. So I'm trying to figure out who belongs to who.
Mm-hmm.
So
Darlene, I was telling that Tracy, I was telling Darlene I'm gonna be on flipping particles today at 12.
Sweet.
D and Chrissy. Well,
Uh-huh.
Chrissy has to work, so Kimmy
That
said,
will be good, Derek. That should get you some subs.
yeah. So I put in the chat, I'll go on, and Kimmy's like, yeah, have Derek on, because she was on yesterday with them. So
Yeah, that's
what
awesome.
we'll and you said 12 o'clock. What we'll
yep,
do is, since I'm doing I'll do the outline of
yep,
the Christian womanhood thing that I'll be doing
right.
on Casey's channel. I'll probably
We'll
wrap it.
just make sure it ends at noon so that we can go
Bounce
support
over
Derek.
and- Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I'll do. I'll have a cutoff time on that, and then I need to really read back up on it and get everything sorted with that syllabus, because I have all my scribbling from when, let me see, cases were 89, 99. It's from like 92. So, yeah, I got to go back through it and get things right.
Jen Hayes says she'll be staying with us all the way through.
So that's noon Eastern time.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
You know, Jennifer, you guys know Casey's just Casey.
Yep.
You know,
He's honest, and and I told Tiffany, I said he will tell you real quick parts of his life, and the thing of it is, I told him, I said, Casey, God, is subject to make you fishers of men. We don't know. Not really men's. You got men and women.
Right.
But, I said, don't get bogged down in people telling you, somebody coming on and telling you, you need to do this, this, or this. Do it the way, like
You
he said,
feel called.
he said,
Right.
Mom, I'm going to do outreach. He said, different. He said, yes, I still will read the Bible. He said, do Bible study. He said that there's so much more I want to be able to do. And I said, then you do that,
I talked to my husband last night because, we have a very strict budget, which I'm sure that you all do too, because we're all in the same boat, And so I said, well, I would like to purchase like a dozen Bibles to send down to you guys. And he was like, okay, are you getting sucked into something I need to know about? And I'm like, no. Then I explained to him the situation, and I'm like, I'm sending Bibles, honey. Bibles.
We're not Heaven's Gate. Trust me, I know.
Yeah. Not sending Playboy magazines. I'm sending Bibles.
And Traci, you're like me. You want to put your touch in it. You want to put your note. You want to send your message.
Exactly.
And that's how I do with my bottles my jars when I sit in there and I do them, or my bookmark. So whenever we send out a Bible, your name's going to be in it, and you guys, my hair, and then I'll be making some bookmarks, out of some of the women, and get ready for that. I mean, we gave.
Well, that's what I said to him. I said, I intend to maybe, like write down on the bottom of the inside cover or something, and just write donated by the Sikkes family, Grand Rapids, Michigan, or Belmont, Michigan, or whatever, just so that they can feel that it's not just one person that is welcoming them in. It's it's a lot of us, and we'd love to have people come in.
And that's what Casey said he wants to.
He wants to portray that he wants to work with kids, and I think that's the greatest thing. These kids, these kids these days need to have some background and understanding on life, and somebody to be with them when things go down.
Yeah, they need to have a positive role model.
And we're not talking about the NFL players, the basketball players. That's not. Those eyes aren't role models. I'm sorry to say.
Kimmy, you're right. Traci is blinging in that light.
Oh, well, I'm sitting in a different chair today. Maybe this is the chair. I usually, when I come on my laptop, thank you, Kimmy, by the way, before I forget to say that. When I usually come on the laptop, I'm sitting in my son Jimmy's chair, which is at that end of the table. My husband sits right next to me at this side of the table, and now I'm sitting in my chair today. So
look,
I didn't realize the cord would stretch that far.
We had Facebook Live this morning. I know what she did. She run and fixed her hair. I know.
What? I didn't do nothing. I went and smoked.
Oh, and you guys, I took a shower and I did good to get dressed because and you know what? I had to do an exercise this morning, Derek.
Yep.
My shoulders were so stiff and hurt that I used the thing I put in the door.
Yep.
And then I use it to pull
Stretch
my
it.
arm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I had to do that this morning. And then I took my shower because I've got to start working my arms more. But
Yep.
I'm tired eyes today because I'm just tired.
The doctor gave me medicine to help me sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to see his PA yesterday afternoon, but he gave me medicine to help me sleep. Apparently it's helping me sleep too well. Twice last night during the middle of the night, my son woke me up standing somewhere randomly in the house, just standing there sound asleep. He's like, Mom, what are you doing?
You don't wake up somebody sleeping.
He did.
You never do what you do. You have to tell him next time he brings you to the room, puts you in bed, and lets you go back to sleep. You never wake somebody up from a sleepwalk.
Yeah.
My husband, they put him on Ambien, and you know what happened? He was riding his 4-wheel to the end of the road into the woods at the river, waking up down there. Mm-hmm. He woke up in Auburn, which I didn't know he was getting up. Mm-hmm. But he woke up at not Lowe's, but not Marvin's, but Home Depot.
Home Depot.
He woke up at Home Depot and couldn't figure out why they weren't open. Mm-hmm. And
you have to
then he realized he drove asleep all the way to Auburn. So he told the doctor. And so now when they say, are you allergic to anything? Good morning, Mama.
Good morning, Mama.
Good morning, Mama.
He says Ambien real quick. Because
I talked to the PA yesterday and I said, once we get this whole grief thing handled,
mm-hmm.
That I don't want to take this medication for sleep long term if I don't have to. Well, after last night, now I know I don't want to take it long term. I used to sleepwalk as a child all the time.
I would now if I did not take a certain medication. I didn't sleepwalk. I would go out the door. I would scream. I would fight people. I pulled my mom's hair out at 12 and threw my brother across the bed, and I just break your toe. Yeah, I did. I have a crooked toe now because I dreamed that I drop kicked a friend of my husband's that I was fighting with in my dream. I kicked the wall, and when I kicked the wall, it peeled the toenail, like the whole meat off my big toe, and I'm sitting there holding my toe and couldn't figure out why it felt wet. And it broke my toe, so now that toe with arthritis in it is crooked. So I call it my Rodney toe, and when it flares up sometimes, it's because I kicked the wall. So you guys.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Jen, for handling that. I didn't get to take a look at it. Yeah, Adam, melatonin does work, but after a while, I've noticed that my body got used to it. And
that's what happened to me. I was taking 40 milligrams of melatonin at bedtime, and I still wasn't sleeping. And that's why the doctor gave me a prescription medication. But if I'm going to be getting up and walking around, at least I was still inside the house.
Right. Oh,
Thank God. I mean, I do at least wear, I wear
pajamas,
PJ pants and a t-shirt. So it's not like, now if my husband was out sleepwalking, I'd get scared because he sleeps in the buff. Maybe that's why Jimmy didn't just take me back to my room. He was afraid if Dad had the covers off, he didn't want to see Dad naked.
But, I remember in Atlanta, I was, when Kevin was working out of town one time, we lived in this apartment complex. Mm-hmm. And Tiffany was 2 or 3. And I would be so scared that I would push my roll top desk in front of the door, and then I had my TV on it, and I'd watch TV. I woke up one night and with Tiffany calling my name, say, kept on and on, mommy, mommy, mommy. And when I woke up, you guys, I have the shotgun in my hands.
Oh my Lord.
And see, I don't like guns. And, I told Keevan, he said, you need to know how to use it. I said, but baby, and this was back before I had any medicine for that. I said, if you teach me how to use a gun and you come in, I'm not going to know it's you. I'm not going to know it's you. So I told him to put the gun up. I mean, if they were able to come in and knock over all that, I'll have time to call the police. So,
my son keeps an unloaded shotgun. All of his ammunition and his loaded weapons are locked up in a gun safe because he does have a little child, and he has from birth. He has let Brantley watch him clean his weapons, and they have talked about things because my son has to carry a weapon for work.
Right.
And but he has an unloaded shotgun in his room, and he always told me, he's like, Mom, if there's ever an issue, you go get that unloaded gun and rack that shotgun. People will go. They'll think you're going to shoot them. That's all you got to do is make that sound, and they'll leave you alone.
So I was on with Destiny and Tommy the other night, and I says, I live in an apartment complex too, and and I says I have a wooden lacrosse stick next to me, and I have a 3-foot metal pole that's near the bed. And I says, damn, somebody's gonna come in. This metal pole's gonna be going somewhere. People don't want it,
Exactly. That's it. We lived in apartments for the last lots of years there for a bit. After I got taken out of work permanently, we lived in apartments until this trailer that we purchased. It'll be 2 years in October.
Right.
And this place, we actually lived in the same trailer park community. I don't like to call it trailer park, mobile home community.
Yeah,
we lived in the same trailer park since when my kids were little. We lived in here before we bought our house.
Yeah.
So now we're back, and it is a nice area. It's nice. I don't really particularly love my neighbors behind me, but everybody else around us is absolutely amazing. I mean, I know all their names. They know our names. We gotta keep an eye out. I called the police on my neighbor on the other side of me because her car, she's single. She's probably early 60s. I don't know for sure how old she is. She probably weighs 90 pounds soaking wet. She's just a little bit of a thing. She lives by herself, and her car, and she works, so her car didn't move for like 4 days in a row.
Right.
And I got freaked out because I went and knocked on the door and she wasn't answering. And I got freaked out. I called the police to do a well check. Well, come to find out she was on vacation. I said, so now she comes over. She's like, I'm going to go to my sister's for a few days. I don't want you calling the police. I'm going to tell you. And I said, it's not that I'm being snoopy, but I care. And when I noticed something like that, it concerned me. I feel like I'm screaming. Am I being really loud?
No.
Okay.
You're being yourself, Traci.
Tone it down, girlfriend. Tone it down. I drank 2 pots of coffee this morning, so I feel like I'm
2 pots or 2 cups?
No, 2 pots.
I gotta go get a pillow to sit on.
2 pots of coffee. I've been up since 4 o'clock, so I have drank 2 pots of coffee. This is Diet Coke.
I've got to start switching up the coffee, which I am going to make a cup now, but with some hot tea because I am drinking too much caffeine and my legs are swelling again. Not enough water. too much caffeine.
That makes your legs swell?
Yeah. It should. It does. If certain people.
Well, the thing, all right, I'm weird. Number one, I don't have that switch that people have when they go to sleep. So I was told I'm missing the switch. Okay, I know that. I'm not right. I know I'm weird. So where
Welcome to the world.
coffee or tea
Yeah, literally.
is a diuretic for other people, it doesn't mean. I could drink a pot of coffee, a gallon of tea, and not go to the bathroom. So my body thinks
You got water
that,
retention.
it thinks that all that caffeine is doing that. So yes, I'm back with you guys. That's why you guys love me.
That's right.
Hey, we're all special. There's no doubt about it.
We all have our specialness about us. That's what makes us friends.
Exactly. I feel like I've known you people forever.
We are
That's
special.
good. That's a good feeling.
That is a good feeling.
Yeah.
Because we put it out there, Liz. That's why. We don't hold anything back.
Yeah, and we're not ever. This is the place where I feel like I can be 100% Traci.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't have to pretend to be anything I'm not. I don't have to make anybody else.
Want to like you. If they don't
Yeah.
like you, they don't like
Yeah,
you.
if they don't like me, that's their decision. They don't have to like me. But this is the place I can be honest and true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well,
Well,
I truly enjoyed our conversation yesterday.
Well, Liz Ann, that's just all the time. I mean, I've kind of been that way. It was hard
Where'd
for me
everybody
to
go?
first start doing this, but
Uh-huh.
then I had the people coming on that were part of the Porch Church network, and that's what kind of helped me because I knew who they were, and I could just sit here and talk to them.
Right.
And that's what helped me. And Casey said, Mom, why don't you go on in the mornings? Why don't you? But it's going to end up, Liz Ann, where I will be going in that room in there. But for some reason, everybody likes the kitchen table.
It's
Everybody likes to have coffee in the Crawley house.
right. Well, we've talked about this with my best friend that just passed away in February. Her family, like I swear to you, I probably never saw past the kitchen because you walked into their kitchen from the back door. Her mom and dad's house past the kitchen till about the fourth time I went there.
Yeah.
Because they were a kitchen table family. That's where they sat and talked all day,
I think the kitchen is the heart of the house and always has been.
That's why I like to come and sit at my kitchen table when I'm talking to you guys. It's the same thing. I feel like I'm sitting at the kitchen table with you, Darlene, when I come over here and sit.
Thank you,
the other day when I got my shot, I sat on the couch because I needed to keep my foot elevated a little bit. But
Mama, stop. I sound like Casey. Casey tells me that. Hold on.
Yes, Kimmy. Yes, Kimmy. You are a proud misfit. You belong with all of us.
Adam too.
Yeah, you're my girl right there. That she has to have positivity in her life every day.
There you go.
Yep. But I don't ever feel like I have to. This is that core group of people that I feel like I can be 100% Traci, and you guys wouldn't be afraid to say, you are whacked out of your mind, girlfriend. You need to come down out of that cloud. Or to say, okay, maybe you're right. But when I can show my true feelings, like when my aunt called me the other day and I got upset and I got all bawling on you guys.
Yeah.
You guys were all there for me, and we're like, it's okay. I mean, Kimmy was even like, I wish I could come there and hug you right now.
But
That's how Kim is.
It is a hug.
That's when I know that who I'm talking to are real friends.
Genuine.
You can hug without a physical hug, just like I get those slaps.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get those wind slaps. But Adam won't come on the panel because let me tell you, I got so excited when Adam come on my show, and I was all over the top with it.
Yeah.
That bless his heart, and I put him on the spot. Okay, Adam. Interview me.
I've been talking to another. He's another YouTuber. He's in Vegas right now, but he lives in Chicago, and he lives in Illinois. And I watch him. He's called Scrap and Pallet Man. He's had such a struggle in his life, and he plays in the band at his church and everything. And I've been trying to get him to come on, but he's it's just so tough that when he's on. So I told him, I said, just come on with us. He's a great guy, prior military. He was stationed near me, so that's how we got to talking and everything. And I says, you really need to meet our group because our group is great. And he's just the type of person where he'll sit at home and work on songs that they're doing at their church, and he'll put it on and just sit there and just play. And he'll go and put the camera during service and just when they're playing, and it's really cool. That's the type of person that we need to bring into this group with us.
That's good. And anybody that doesn't know somebody else's channel, subscribe and if there's so many out there, you basically, if you're on as much as me and then it goes into Casey's, then I have to kind of watch as I'm cooking or watch while I'm doing something. But hey, it's got me off of so much TV. But then I have shutdown days that I just shut down everything. Adam,
did you hear that joke? Adam's joke.
Adam says, Kimberly, I need a smile on your face. What do babies wear on their feet when they skateboard?
Baby minivans.
Minivans. It's the shoe. Okay, I saved my feather pillow because it was in the middle of the bed, and it was, I knew what was about to happen. So I moved it, and so now she thinks my toes that she can chew on.
Oh, jeez.
And yeah. She sat there and groomed the cat last night. She groomed that cat, and every now and then the cat would be like, she'd just put the paw like, stop. And I'm like, me and Kevin laughed. I said, it's like the cat saying, that's enough now. You can only lick in my ear so many times. But then the cat would put her nose to the puppy, and then she'd start grooming again. So I said, okay, the cat loves the puppy.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I got to see my Chihuahua yesterday.
Yep.
Yes.
Girl.
Sweetie. Adam, let me find my pen because notifications are crazy. All right.
What time? I got to get my notepad too. Hang on.
He's on at 3:00 Eastern. On
3.
Yeah.
3 our time. Eastern.
He's got one today.
Yeah, he does that today. Yeah.
I hadn't looked at.
Yeah, he has Casey Rock South Flipper on.
I have learned a lot, even like toys, or I'll show Derek something and he'll say, "Oh yeah, that's such and such and such." And
so Adam show us 3 Eastern.
Yep.
Put your link in, Adam. And you guys, anybody else? Well, I think we all know each other now, but anybody that is not subscribed to Liz Ann, you got to show her the love. And you guys,
Thanks. I can't.
hey,
Derek is going to be
I'm
on.
on my phone.
Misha, I watched your sister last night, a couple of her videos. She's so funny.
Whose sister?
Misha.
Oh.
Ain't it Misha's?
Porterhouse? Is it Porterhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
I'm
look,
on
you
my
gotta tell that girl she needs to use that lipstick that she got in October or no
Oh, in that,
November.
yeah, in that, I used to, can you believe when I was in the working world, I used to wear like, well, I was a professional. I was an office manager and, I wore skirts and hose and at minimum mascara and lipstick every day. And
Yep. I did the same. I never was much for a lot of foundation and all that kind of stuff because my skin, you guys, this is just me. I did wash my face, get the makeup, but this is just me. I'm tired looking today. You can't see my eyebrows, Tracy.
yeah.
You can't see eyelashes.
At least you're not using marker on your eyebrows.
Huh?
At least you're not using marker on your eyebrows.
I don't use marker. I use like a pencil.
Yeah. As long as you don't use a black Sharpie, we're all good.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I do what they say on the box not to do. I get a Q-tip sometimes and I will dye them when I dye my hair.
Yeah.
But, most of the time I just roll out of bed. I did take a shower, but today is one of those no makeup days. I'm just tired. And Derek, you talk about your eyes drooping and, when you're tired or whatever. It's my right eye, which is my good eye.
Yeah.
And I don't know when that started, but anyway,
Adam,
I have to.
Sorry,
Derek, can I ask you a very personal question, Derek?
Me? Yeah.
You don't have to answer if you choose not to. That I'm gonna ask it. Now, my understanding that you're completely blind in one eye.
Yeah, my right eye. I'm completely dead. Yeah.
Okay, but you can see
okay
out of your left eye, or
what's that?
What about your left eye? Can you see okay out of your left eye?
45% in my left eye.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I give you a lot of credit.
Well,
for doing all the things you do.
Wow.
That's why sometimes I screw up on stuff and I get very upset with myself. But,
you're too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
That's why he gives me those. Don't be feeling sorry for yourself.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, you asked me a question. I did talk to Margaret yesterday. She's supposed to get back to me. But some of the things she was saying yesterday, she's funny as can be. But Adam, if you could put the link in for I can't flipping particles. I'm supposed to be on Dee's channel today at 12. Please, if you don't mind putting that in, I'll be on there with her. So I am hard on myself because I have always been taught to be strong. When you work in a kitchen and you're in charge of 50 to 60 people, you have to have that strong side. But when you get home, you beat yourself up because things didn't go right. But
so well, then you can imagine.
I could have really used to
how it was with Casey, and Casey's a big old,
Yeah.
Casey used to say, during his anger years, he used to say, I might be, and he'd say the F word. He said, I might be, but he said, I'm no sissy. And I was always afraid there was going to be the wrong person, that all of his anger one day, there's going to be the wrong person to
take it out on.
Say the wrong thing
in
case he was going to take all that built up anger because he's strong. Oh my gosh, he's so strong.
Mm-hmm.
He does have the beginnings of a lot of my arthritis stuff, but I'm going to tell you, he's like his dad. That boy can pick up anything. So yeah, you can't underestimate people. And I never wanted my child to be the one out in public somewhere and somebody just kill him just because of who he is. Because you have to look beyond.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do those onions, take off those layers, you know.
Yep.
And there's people that are there's more to them. There's more to them. Look, Misha, my daughter comes shopping. I have all my itsy bags, but I mailed one out to somebody special. I have all my itsy bags in the bathroom. I have brushes here, and you tell her she don't want those brushes, she can send them to me. But anyway, I have all this makeup, and my daughter comes in, and she's like, "Oh, you don't use eyeliner." I thought I do sometimes. So anyway, I hook her up.
Thank you, Adam, for putting that link in.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, Tracy, I saw you did. You responded to her like a couple months ago.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I put it all together. I was like, geeked. I love to know. Like you said, I'm trying to put together who really goes with who.
But you know, go to just a random Carla. I forget how I come across Princess Casserole one time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I like, or Texas gal, is it the one she's
Margaret, that's when I was on. That's what Adam's asking. I talked to her yesterday, and she picked up a ton of G.I. Joe stuff, and Adam sent me the link and says, "You got to talk to her." And
she is so funny.
Well, I got a ton of subscribers.
Let's just say I walked in at the wrong time yesterday when she was doing her video about.
What, did she have something on her head or something?
No. She was talking about how she wears skirts, but a lot of the women said that they wear spandex underneath, and she goes, "Well, really, I don't wear anything sometimes." And I'm like sitting there going, "TMI, a little too much information." I walked in at the wrong time. And she laughing. She goes,
"Good morning,
pillow." Tracy said, "Good morning."
Good morning.
Good morning.
She had a pillow in the middle of the bed.
But it was just so funny. I walked in at the wrong time. I'm like, "Oh my God, did I just walk in on something I didn't need to know about?"
Yeah, she has a pretty warped sense of humor.
Yeah,
but she's fun to watch because she'll stick the jewelry on her head.
Yeah, she did that yesterday. Yep.
You know, so find happy places. There's enough bashing. There's enough negative, and that's why yesterday, Derek, I backed up when you said you did the Flavor Flav thing, and I backed it up. I'm like, you know what?
Oh my gosh,
I give it to anybody.
I saw in my life, Derek.
I said I hand it to anybody that is an entertainer that can get up there and put themselves out there. So I drew that back.
My hubby just
Misha's even laughing.
It was hysterical when you did that and you turned your hat sideways.
Yep.
I was laughing so hard, but that's what I was trying to, even though I'm a stalker, I was like trying to help you out by saying, hey, anybody who had a groom and a groomsman that would be like, when you were selling the sunglasses, it would have been perfect for that.
Yep. That was funny. That was thanks to Rebecca.
I'm gonna have to get off of here till I get home.
Okay.
My husband just got in the car. Hubby.
Hello.
Hi, hubby.
We're the pain in the butt that talk to her all the time.
Excuse me?
We're the pain in the butts that bug her all the time. Tell your husband that's what we're.
Okay, friends.
That's cool.
Adam,
so I'm going to have to get off.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for coming, Liz.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Adam, coffee doesn't do anything for me anymore like that. I just love the taste. I can go to bed and drink a cup of coffee and go to sleep.
Oh, I can, I have, when you get up or further up in the chat, Adam, when you were saying that I've two pots is a lot of coffee. I don't allow myself to have more than 2 pots in the morning, but I can be on my second pot of coffee and holding my coffee cup, you know, in my hand while I'm like all got my feet kicked up on the sofa and fall asleep and spill that coffee in my lap. I've done it.
Yeah.
Look, the reason Mama, this is what Mama, when I first met her, it was at a time, and I mean, I've gotten down to like 120. I wasn't eating. And so because of stress and stuff, I just wasn't eating, and I wasn't sleeping. I just couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. So one morning, and I'd fall asleep going down the road and going home from where we lived, Fairfax, and I lived maybe 20, 30 miles down the road. And she told me one time, she said, look, do you have time? Can you stop by Crystal's in the morning and have a cup of coffee with me before? And that way you'll get woke up before you drive home. So that's how our friendship started, Traci. That part of it. So we would go by Crystal's every morning, and there would be times I would be sitting there with my cup of coffee, like you said, and I'd be dozing, and I'd be driving while I'm asleep. I was bad about that, Misha, but I would be dozing like that. So then she asked me one time, she said, Darlene, when's the last time you ate? Now you got to understand, I dropped within about 3 weeks from 150 something down to 120 from stress and stuff. And so she said, when's the last time you ate? I said, well, yesterday. No, it had been a couple days.
Oh my goodness.
So she said, well, I'm getting you a biscuit. So it started that way. Then the next thing you know, we're sitting in Crystal, sitting there talking and cutting up, and we're not there 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Next thing you know, we're sitting in there an hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was somebody else who would come in, and he started getting closer and closer because he came in every morning. Next thing you know, and we'd hear him giggle. Next thing you know, he was like right there. And this was before I met Kevin, and he'd be right there by us. So next thing you know, we're sitting there 3 hours in Crystal. We're drinking our coffee and having a good time. And then I told her, because my mom was keeping Tiffany while I worked the third shift. I was working third shift 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my mom, I said, well, Francis, do you want to ride with me to get my baby? And then we'll go up to the lake and lay out in the sun. That woman still has scars on her shin from where she got sunburned. I would fall asleep. I would just have my pillow and I would fall asleep. But that summer, it was 107 degrees in Alabama.
And Crystal's is kind of like a Denny's, right? Adam's asking.
No, Crystal's is fast food. It's like White Castle, the square hamburgers.
Yeah.
I know they had them in Georgia when I lived in Georgia, but we never ate there.
I thought Crystal's was everywhere, but I think up north.
They're not up north.
We're not up north.
White Castle. You know, little bitty, little old thin pieces of hamburger with the square.
White Castles in Michigan.
Call me. And about 30 minutes. So, Chloe, get in there. I ain't got time to take you out. Come on.
She just does that. She's gonna be like, get
in there.
I love you.
Love you too. Take her out after I leave.
All right. She lies. These dogs lie. But okay, I just thought Crystals was everywhere. Nope. I don't know.
Nope.
Well, see, I remember A&D, the root beer.
Yeah, A&D root beer.
Okay.
A&W, that's right. That's right.
In California, we had A&W, like the Sonic, or like you drove up to it, and they had the car hops, and they had the A&W root beer floats and stuff like that.
We have one of the oldest ones here in Rhode Island.
And
Really?
see, out here, they didn't know what A&W was, and so.
All right, listen, you guys. I'm listening, but I'm gonna go pop a bagel in the toaster. All of a sudden, I'm like feeling like I'm gonna, as my mama would say, I'm gonna fall through the bunghole and hang myself. I'm so hungry.
I know, Misha. I was in there talking to the puppy one day, and somebody said, "Who's she talking to?" And Frances said, she's telling her nurse, she said, "Talking to the dog, the puppy." She said, the nurse said, "Do they know what she's saying?" I said, "Yeah, they know what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying." I talked to the cat. I talked to
I talk to anything. When you're by yourself at home all day, you'll talk to anything.
Yeah, exactly. Get that right.
You guys know all of this really got, I don't know, it's like it brought, even though we've been in the same house and we've all, Casey, my husband, Francis, have all been supportive of each other, but we're interacting more now. I'm not staying in my room just watching TV, and Mama's not, well, she still sleeps a lot because she's up all night with Sandy and anybody else. She's a night owl.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, Mama's a hooter. That's what Rebecca, my cozy Nest, calls them, hooters, because they stay up all night.
Yeah.
But, and then Casey be in his room, but it seems like we are all interacting ever since he started reading the Bible, doing the porch church. We're all interacting. Now my husband can't wait. He'll be over there, and if they're not busy, he pulls it up online, and he watches.
Nice.
So
the Home Depot is stocking.
I love him, girl.
That was my back when Tony even
That's
has
what Tony Stewart was raised with. Yep.
Oh, wait. You guys, I tell you what, I love to go to Home Depot and Lowe's. I like the way it smells.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I saw it. Tony Stewart shirt. Yep.
Yep. They my son one of my kids bought me this for Christmas one year.
Cool.
I had a friend at work that knew I liked Tony Stewart, and he became my best friend when me and him had to sit side by side.
Aww.
And bless his heart, let me tell you this is how I am, you guys. This poor man, he got stuck having to sit by me and us watch when I first started.
Yeah.
And he got stuck by me, and he never talked to anybody, and he kind of shrunk down, and he did his job, but he never talked to anybody until me.
Aww.
And he had a heart attack. He was in my daughter's startup class. She started in February, March or something like that, and I started in October. So he had a heart attack one morning going to work, so he drove himself to the hospital because his dad died at an early age of a heart attack. So he was like wasn't the same status as other people. And so anyway, here we are, and I have these other girls. Hey, Joy, be the difference. Is it Joy?
Yes. Yep.
So anyway, these other girls already knew each other, and they're talking and everything. So I'm sitting there, and I said, "Hey, what's your name?" And he kind of looked at me funny, and he told me. I said, "Okay, hey, I'm Darlene." I'm sitting there, and then he not saying anything, and I said, "So where are you from?" And he told me. I said, okay. And I said, and I just look. You guys, I learned. I didn't know. I'm 40. I just turned 40. I'm like, I said, well, how old are you? I said, we might know some of the same people. He said, how old do you think I am?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, literally.
And I told him, I said, and I said, 50? And he just like crumpled up even more. He said, oh, man.
So Darlene, it's done.
Huh?
It's done.
Let me see.
Let me see it. Oh,
It
that
looks
looks
like
beautiful.
It looks
That
like a
looks like stained glass. Yeah. I love
stained glass
it.
window.
Yeah. So,
See, I get that one. That one's got to be mailed to me. I get that one freebie. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How you rate?
I get that one. So look, you guys. He said. So he looked at me. I said, "Well, I'm awful with names." I said, I'm awful with ages. I'm sorry. I said, well, how old are you? He said, 40. I said, this how I feel. I said, I'm 42. I said, I'm 40. I said, oh, wow, we're the same age. Da, 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 I went. And little by little, he would always go by my daughter's station and he would give candy, and we had to monitor so long together.
Mm-hmm.
He done started dressing different because I told him, well, so-and-so's real tiny and small. And he wears this. Done start telling him, hooking up with the ladies. Why don't you ask them out? I said, why are you by yourself? So then his back got straighter and straighter, he walked with confidence and a hoot. I mean, it's so funny, and I started getting him in trouble. He was so quiet. And I started getting him in trouble for talking because we weren't supposed to talk at certain times. And this is another thing, you guys, I did, which was bad. Because you guys can see my face.
Yep.
I had two girls, or one was about 7 years older, and then one's a lot younger than me. Come to find out, we got talking about who's your daddy, da da da. She's my darn cousin.
Yeah.
I did her training, and she was a cousin that my cousin didn't. She was like one of those that wasn't claimed. So I said, I could have known. You look like them. So anyway, we're sitting there, and we're supposed to be at attention at certain times. And I would stick stuff up my nose, and I'd have my headset on. Mm-hmm. And them two would be dying laughing at me. They'd be looking at me, and they'd be just dying laughing. And I'd have stuff up my nose, and when I would see the supervisor come, she'd say, y'all, and she'd be standing behind me. And my cousin Christy said, but and she'd be laughing, pointing at me. And I would hurry up and pick up, and then, good morning, may I have your conference ID number, please? I would be like, I'm the one working, and then I would be in trouble all the time. They say, you always doing something. And but yes, you guys, after being with kids, I love my kids. I had 12. At one time when I worked at a daycare center, at nap time, I'd have to get 32 down. That was, she got written up for that. They came in one time, I was the only one with 32 kids on cots. But I worked at daycare, then I had my own, so. But anyway, I have always been silly and love being silly. And, so for me, when Casey, for him to see me for almost 3 years sitting in my room crying all the time, not wanting to be here, Traci. I shared that on Porch Church one morning. I said, I didn't want to be here.
Can you read that?
The puzzle of life. Every piece. Say something again, Derek, so you pop up.
Okay, can you read it? Okay.
Every
piece.
Can you read? Can you say it? No.
Every piece is in the right place.
Aw.
I love it.
I love it too. What does it say on the
That's
bottom?
what we are. We're the puzzle.
Yep. So.
We're the
Sweet.
puzzle, you guys.
That's awesome. That's really awesome, Derek.
Oh.
But you know, Tracy, I opened up about suicide one morning in Porch Church, and I got crying. I said, I didn't want to be here. I said, what now? I didn't love my family. I just didn't want to be here. I felt a burden. And Dwayne, bless his heart, he said, I can't imagine not having you here. And I said, well, Dwayne, I'm okay. I'm not going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But people need to know, just like you, Tracy, people need to know, because I've had to deal with a brother, a nephew, and I tried in high school. People need to know we understand when you feel at that point, because a lot, everybody don't have that feeling.
No, but anybody who has chronic pain, no matter where it is in their body, understands, and they're the only people who can truly get it. I told right in the beginning, this is no joke. I told my husband in the way back, and I've had this disease now for almost 20 years. So we had only been married 10 years at the time. And I said, if you want to get divorced, I would understand.
Right.
And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, you didn't sign up to take care of me. I was the main breadwinner. I was the one that was out there having the career, and that's how we built our family. He was the main caretaker of our kids. And I said, if you didn't sign up for this, if you want out, you got to free out. I love you too much to make you stay. And he said, you are not making me stay. I want to stay. And 20 years later, he's still here.
Darlene, are you talking about the book of Babe Ruth?
The book of Babe Ruth. The book of Ruth. Because Ruth was such a strong person.
Yeah, no. What's your favorite books in the Bible? Okay, and I'm going to explain. The book of Ruth, because, all right, Ruth had two daughter-in-laws, and her sons died. And it was the culture that if there was no more sons,
right,
that it was okay, that the women, if they were young enough to marry and have children, it was better for them to remarry. And Ruth told her, she told her daughter-in-laws to go their way, and find a husband. Naomi, I hope I have the names right. She loved her mother-in-law so much, she followed her mother-in-law. And then she ended up marrying the wealthy man.
Right.
And so it led her to that, because my mother-in-law, I would have followed even if it wasn't Kevin.
Right.
If something happened to Kevin, I would still be with my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
So that is why the book of Ruth.
I was just making a joke, Babe Ruth. Yeah. But mine is Cain and Abel. I absolutely love
the story of Cain and Abel.
Yes, that is a very serious and strong story that a lot of people don't understand the true meaning of that story.
That's why Genesis, we took Genesis. Oh my goodness. When we went through the book of Genesis in Bible study, we really, we took our time back then, it's just me and Casey. But yeah, there was a lot to, when you read that. And, but David, King David, even when I love the stories of David. After Casey reread them and we went through Bible study, I'm like, oh, I embellished a lot when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's how they were told when we were children. And then so I told them, so Joy, yes.
Boaz.
So Joy, what's your favorite?
My favorite is the Gospels.
Yeah.
I love the story of Jesus. I just
Right.
really do that. He.
What the thing that gets me with the Gospels is you miss. There's so much in his life that you missed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what I'm like, okay, he's born, and then all of a sudden he's 27, 28 years old, and what happened?
What happened in that in between?
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, and people believe, certain religions especially believe that, he was working with his father,
As a carpenter.
right,
Right.
being trained as a carpenter, but there's no record in the Bible of exactly
No
what.
backstory, nothing to really explain. Okay, how they were moving around and
Right.
I know his dad was a cop. There was a movie that was put out, and Amy Grant does all the music to it, but it's the story of Mary. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now they went into a little bit of that, but that movie, even though it's very brutal and I think it's one of the best depictions of the Bible. People are like, wow, I can't believe that they did this. You know what?
The reason I think that he was a hardworking carpenter with his dad at that time is because, it's mentioned one time that he goes back to his hometown and he does something, a miracle, and somebody says, wait, isn't that Jesus the carpenter, the brother of James? And I didn't even know he had like 2 or 3 brothers.
Right.
So to them, they saw him growing up as just a carpenter, so he's just the brother of them. He's just, hey, CC, he's just a carpenter. He's nothing special.
Right.
So
you have to think, though, because in order for him to cleanse us all of our sins, he lived a pure and sinless life. So you have to think about, like, exactly what you're saying, Derek. There's like such a gap in what we know that, like, even the best of kids and the best of teenagers and the best of have their moments that they pull a prank and, do the raspberry at authority. You wonder, but how did he stay so pure his whole life? But he did, apparently.
Right. Apparently, I mean, maybe because I was brought up Catholic all my life, and just reading the Bible all the way through school, and now my kids have gone to Catholic school all the way through, and my son even sits there and sits because they serve Mass every Sunday, and his theology teacher really, his freshman year, really broke down every single book of the Bible. I mean, these kids were fighting to get a good grade because there was so much information that he was giving them. But and I always said this, I said this to Kyle, I says, he seemed like a really, really nice guy, but he reminded me so much of a hippie, when I met him.
All right, Adam, could you put the Porch Church Network? Because I don't, now, Dad Kitty, what's your name?
Nicole. She is
Nicole.
She's from New Hampshire. She's not that far away from me.
Deb Kitty, you need to come to Porch Church, yeah.
Have you been to Casey? Geisha Treasures? Have you been to
I haven't seen her do that, but no, she's never heard of it. So,
well, but you know Casey, don't you? Geisha Treasure, Geisha's Treasures. He does.
Mama, her name's Nicole.
He does auctions with April, which is Bougie Bear. Casey does auctions with Cindy. He does auctions with the MSP. And but yeah, that's my son, and he does the Porch Church Network. And Adam, if you're in there, if you'll throw that link in there, I would love. We start at 11, and
explain to her what today is in the Porch Church Network.
Yeah.
We'll appreciate that.
We already went through, page by page, the Old Testament. Well, we're in Matthew. We've really just got started in Matthew. But, we're just trying some different things to be like outreach and not just to read, just read, and that's it. Because there's so much to being in a church or fellowship. You got to fellowship with people, and that's what we do. So Tuesdays is good. I'll try to close up in about 30 minutes, so I can call my husband, and then I can get out my book. Now, Casey is the pastor. He runs it, but he wanted me to do Wednesdays as women's outreach, Wednesdays, womanhood, and outreach. So I will be going through and looking at the different women, and it's so so fitting.
You'll like it. It's really good. And on Tuesdays we do art therapy, and that's why I was showing the picture. That was why I finished it from yesterday.
Art therapy Tuesdays.
Yep.
And you don't have to be artistic.
No.
Because Tracy's not, and I still hang out.
Yep.
And if somebody feels led to sing, they sing. And it's mostly the same ones that you see in here are in that. But today I'll kind of be going over what we'll be studying on Wednesdays, and it is the different women, and people don't understand how many women that played a significant part in the Bible until I went to that. It was in my 30s, and it was a good thing for me to be able to step away from the kids and husband and everything on Tuesdays and really have somebody teach me about to be a Christian woman.
Pretty much when you're taught as a kid, the only woman you really heard of was Mary Magdalene. That's pretty much who you heard.
Somebody's coming. Is somebody trying to come?
Let me see.
It has to be you. It's not me.
It's
not me.
It was somebody that should know I'm live. Because they got the link. Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. I'm going to take a pause. I have to use the little girls' room, speaking of women, and then I'm going to, if I'm going to get up and use a little girls' room, you know what else I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Sit, but I'll be back.
Yeah, because I do need to get, that up and going, but Nicole, I'm glad, it's sort of like Lizanne. Derek told Lizanne about the group. So we have somebody else that's new. And then, we have a lot of new people. And then Casey, Thursdays, we will get it back into the book of Matthew and, taking the chapters and it's still, we won't do the open concept like this on those days.
Right.
As far as having a panel, unless somebody wants to sing.
Right.
Or I know before Treasured Vintage, Angie has read chapters before. So, it's whatever, like Casey said, whatever he's led to do. And he also wants a teenage outreach because an outreach to young people that feel like
they've lost
they
their
don't
way.
they don't want to be here, or they don't know where to go. And so that's kind of what we do. Good morning. I'm sorry, Rebecca. I couldn't answer. Literally, you were ringing me. We're doing, I'm about to do a shutdown at 10:30 so I can get things ready for Porch Church, because I'll be doing the Christian womanhood syllabus, and I kind of got to get it ready. I tell you what, Derek, my eye today is like I am not. My eyes just don't want to.
Yep, that happens. Right. Yeah,
they're so tired today. But anyway, I'll be looking at that, and that's what we'll be doing today. And usually, and pretty much, who's here is who goes on over to Porch. Aw, Anna Moore sent you a gift. And I hope that you jump on over at 11 o'clock and come in there with us. It's called the Porch Church Network. Yeah. And you'll see me again.
So just so you know, these were the glasses that I had on. And I know Misha's probably laughing already, and Adam's laughing because these were the glasses.
See, I need to get me some sunglasses. I
was selling these 5 pairs for $5. It was crazy.
Thank you, Adam, for putting that in there. I guess I'll go ahead and shut this down a little bit early so I can take the dogs out and call my husband, see what it was he needed me to call him about. And I will see all you guys back. And it's not just a woman's thing. I mean, any of you that want to, hear about the different per scripture, hear about the different women and stuff like that. It's not just for women today. Anybody can listen to see. It's really amazing. The strength that even today, the women over there, the way they're ruled over, they have to have amazing strength to deal with everything. But anyway, I'm tired and I'm going to try to refresh somehow. I don't know how. Maybe walking outside with my dog.
Jump in the swamp. Jump in the swamp.
I tell you what, those huge bullfrogs, them things, I just hope Casey don't kill them, because in his room you can really, really hear them.
Yeah, but they're cool. I like them.
I love it, but see, Casey, he's not so much, and there's a fan going in the air conditioner, and you hear, wah, wah. I mean, they're so loud.
Well, you have that. I have ducks.
Oh, I heard Darlene's geese.
Yeah, I have ducks.
When I talked to Darlene, and I loved it. I could hear goats and the geese, and I loved it. Rebecca, Mama's kind of slow this morning. Traci, really? My brother was, and the one that's 2 years younger than me that ended up bigger than me, that boy always wore like a t-shirt because he was a little bit chubby. He always wore his t-shirts tucked in. And I found this huge bullfrog. It was about this big. And I picked that sucker up and I snuck up on him. And I put it down. I put it down the back of his shirt. And when I tell you that boy hollered, and he was probably 11, about 12. I was about 14. That boy's hollering and screaming, and my mom comes running out to see what's going on. Of course, I get in trouble. And of course, my sister, 2 years older than me, looks at me and said, I just wish you would do that to me. I volunteered her. Oh, she would get me. So anyway, it was so funny. I put that huge bullfrog down his back. That's awful, but that's, you guys, I'm going to show you. This is my family. Is it glaring?
Nope.
All right. Oldest sister here. And then oldest brother here. This is my sister in Florida. And me. And my little brother that ended up the biggest. And this was mine and Kevin's first Christmas together. So it would have been 86, Christmas of 1986.
I have to tell you a little frog story of my fear. This is kind of funny, but it's not funny because it wasn't funny to me. But when we lived in Georgia, and we would go, had the best neighbors down there, okay? And we lived there in Georgia, and we lived in a low-lying area, wet, damp area. So there were tons and tons of toads and frogs and everything. And those, I would make right, we would walk over. It's, of course, they especially would be out at nighttime. I would make right walk ahead of me. I would walk directly behind him so that as he stepped, the toads would jump out of the way so that I knew I wouldn't accidentally step on one. And I went outside one night because we never smoked in the house. So I went outside one night in the middle of the night to smoke. And the only door I unlocked was the side door. And there was a big fat toad sitting on the door stoop. When I went to go back in, I would not walk past that toad. I had to knock on the bedroom window, wake Ryan up to come out there and scare that toad away so I could go back in the house. I love petrified.
And lizards. I try to catch them. I love the lizards we have here. They change colors. And I love lizards. And, the only thing I'm trying to think what freaks me out, ticks, because I got Lyme disease from a tick when I was 30. And
have you ever been tested as part of your medical issues, maybe from chronic Lyme?
I believe so. My first rheumatologist doesn't think there's a link, but my sister, when I had it, it really, I probably weighed 150 and it took me down. It really took me down. And it was a tiny tick, did not leave a mark or nothing. And it took me, it was in August, September, October. So by November, I'm so sick, and they're asking me, have you been to a foreign country? Have you, all this stuff? And then finally they said, have you had a tick bite? I said, well, yeah. They said, when? I said, August. And it took until January, even though they gave me that high price, that really strong dose of whatever, it took until about January or February. But back then, wasn't everybody didn't have a computer in 1990. And my sister went to the library and researched the one in Florida. And she called me. She said, Darlene, do you realize what the long-term effects of Lyme disease? And I said, no. And she said, it's chronic arthritis. It can be It can cripple you. It can do this, 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 and this. And so, see, I'm the only one in my family. My other sisters have a touch arthritis, of course, but I'm the only one, at 40 that was diagnosed with all these different arthritis.
It could be chronic Lyme's disease. It really could.
Yeah, could be. So I know. I hate to cut you, but Joy asked about what do you about T-shirt to review. What's the T-shirt, Joy? So at least we can know. Is it real religious? Is it just a regular T-shirt? No.
She wants to mail me one?
One of the guys for a T-shirt to review. So that's why that's why I said what is the T-shirt?
Yeah.
Give us some information before we just say, yeah, sure, and then we can
Yeah, you can I'm on Facebook, Norcus .Rodriguez, and you can look me up and send me a friend request. Now I have all you guys, all of you that send me a friend request, I will accept that friend request. Then you can send me a picture of it. But that's another thing I want to do is I was thinking about that. I would love to have a T-shirt that says, Porch Church Network, and I'd also we call it squirrel. I jump from one thing, but
another. Yeah.
Yes, all ticks. Some ticks will just fall off, and you might not know you have them.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, I would love to sport a borderline horse shirt, a Todd shirt, and if you have one, NASCAR, I want to just get a shirt of all you guys, any of you guys, and I'll buy a shirt. Anybody that has a shirt, with your logos on it or whatever, and I'll be sporting them things.
Yeah, I'm working on doing my design now. Well, when you go on my page, that's going to be the front corner design, and on the back, it's going to say "More toys, more fun."
Sweet, I want one.
Okay.
I'm in. Make sure you get at least a few in extra big sizes, because I'm a fat lady.
I'm a fat kid, so don't worry about it.
Hey, I'm slim through here, you guys. I'm slim through here.
It's so funny. It's like my friend Mike that comes in and Joe that comes in and everything. They're like, well, we're not big bones. We're just fat kids. When we see food, we eat. That's it.
And see, I did not eat until about 6 o'clock last night. I went all day, and that's probably why I got sick last night. But you guys, we'll be back. I got to get Casey up to set up set everything up.
Yeah.
And then that'll give me time to sit here and get my head straight, get my Bible, and I'll probably do it in here because I can put things out on the table better. But I love you guys.
She's gonna take her face off and put a new face on. She's really from Men in Black, so we have to be careful with Arlene.
All right, wait. Look, this is now. I will come back like this.
Woohoo!
The librarian just showed up.
This is about the blingest that you guys are going to see me today because I'm tired. All right, shutting down. All right, Casey calls it the Southern goodbye because we say it.
Love you. See you at church.
Right.
Love you guys.
I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys at 12 o'clock on.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be supporting you.
On
Flipping Particles.
Flipping Particles. Yeah. And then at 3 o'clock Eastern time is Adam. Yep. And Adam is going to have
Casey the Rockstar Flipper.
Casey the Rockstar on his show. Yep. So we'll tell you guys of YouTube.